Hey there, inline skaters. Thanks a lot for tuning in. My name is Victor Thorpe. I'm a three-time Olympian and Olympic medalist, and I'm also part of the rollerblade world team as an inline skater. I live in Denmark. I grew up in Denmark. That's an amazing country, but it is also a very rainy country, and that goes for a lot of countries out there. It rains a lot, but you can definitely still enjoy inline skating in the rain. And with a few technical adaptations, you can do it safely and you can do it almost as fast as you can in the dry. In this video, I'm gonna go through all of those things and teach you how to be technically efficient and safe when it's wet on the roads. If you haven't already, I also recommend you watch my other video on how to make it more comfortable to skate in the rain. Those are more things like what equipment to wear and how to prepare and what to do after a skating session in the wet. But for now, let's just dive straight into it. The first thing that is critical in the rain is the under push. You cannot have as much power in each stroke and you can't do as long strokes. Therefore, the more work you can do underneath yourself, the better. That goes for most skating, but here it's really essential to be fast and smooth and skate well in the rain. You need to push under yourself. So we're in classic skating, you can push and push and push until you finish your push properly and still have that grip and still have that efficiency in the push. That gets worse and worse the further away from you the skate gets. Therefore, so much motivation for you to skate under yourself. That means you need to be smooth on both edges, not just the classical push. If you see me on my channel, there's also a specific training plan below in the description. The double push, that is the key to doing this. We have a push where we go underneath ourselves, kind of push inward and then push out. If you do the double push, you do both of those pushes. When it's wet and when it's slippery on the tarmac, you don't get as much out of that classical push. But that also means the other part of the push, the underneath yourself, the outer edge, so much more important. You don't push hard enough and you don't get that leg and the wheels as far away from your body weight. So this is where, without slipping, you can still generate the same amount of pressure into the ground and the same amount of speed as you can when you're skating in the dry. Therefore, make it a little more compact and really focus on immediate pressure right as you place the skate under yourself. Also leads me to the next point. Usually, it's not a bad thing to have a strong angle with your skate. At the end of the push, you can really extend and you can still grind some out there if you're in the right position. Whereas in the rain, there is a certain point where you don't want to be pushing anymore because it's simply just going to drive away from you. You're going to slide off with that leg. Therefore, don't focus on the end of it. Focus on the early portion. So the more angle you have here with your wheels, the worse it is. Therefore, you're going to have to do smaller steps. It looks less powerful. It is less powerful, but in order to compensate for that, the next step here is to increase your rhythm and be more dynamic. So instead of these long, powerful strokes, you got to do more, I'm not going to say tiptoeing because I don't want you to not push with the heel, but more smaller, more dynamic, higher rhythm. So you skate more underneath yourself and you don't fully finish that step. You let it go out there, but without the same amount of body weight and pressure in it. Instead, you take over earlier. So once you're halfway out with your extension, that's where you already let go of the gas here, let go of the pressure, and you take over with that other leg and drive your body weight on that one. So just a great rule of thumb, the closer or the more right underneath yourself, your leg and your skate is, the more weight and the more power you should apply on that one. So once this one is already out there, the stronger the angle you get on the wheels, give up on it and focus on the next step. And that's also where you really want that more rhythm instead of those powerful extensions. Just rhythmic underneath yourself and get more on the outer edge because nobody ever slips in the first part of the double push. That I promise. Another thing, and this is especially if you race or compete, make sure your accelerations are smoother. So don't panic if you see somebody attack or if you want to go in an attack or build for a sprint through a race or catch up with a group. Don't just immediately put everything out there. Even if you don't have those long steps, keeping it compact, you still should focus more on like smooth skating and still take your time for each stroke. Do what I just explained, keep it dynamic and underneath yourself, but don't just run because you can't put as much power in as little time as you're used to without slipping. Even in a start, people will hold back if it's really wet and it's really slippery. You often see skaters where instead of going forward, they just slip backwards and then you're delaying yourself. So smooth Accelerations, take your time to do the steps. Don't put 100% of your power in each step, but instead try and see if you can maybe take a few more steps and have more time to skate under yourself, but with a little less power in each of them. Another thing you want to keep smooth is your track pattern. You don't want to make curves or turns too narrow. Make it smoother. This one is a little more logical to most of you guys. Like same as a Formula 1 car, you don't just go straight in, pivot and go straight out. You round that turn so you can keep it rhythmic, kind of playful almost on the skates, where you like kind of jump from one to the other, but not in an immediate fashion, but just more of like dancing on them. I hope this video was useful to you guys. Those are my best tips and tricks when it comes to adapting your skating technique for the wet, for the rain, or just slippery surface in general. Now check out that other video on how to prepare equipment-wise and how to, recover from a skate in the rain and make sure your equipment is ready for the next one, and just some adaptations you can do to make it more comfortable. Rain happens a lot. It can happen on race day. And if you live in a country where every day is rain day, you also want to make sure to enjoy all your skating. Now, if you want to skate better, there's a lot of different training plans here below in the description. And if you want even more content, become even better at skating, you should check out my OnlyFans channel. It is free to subscribe, so just click that link below and I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you here. I hope you want to watch more of my videos and subscribe, and yeah, appreciate having you guys here. Super cold, Nicholas.